This is lesson 6 for 8th grade, and today we're talking about some basic conversions. Once again, this is some review from last year, but it's a good thing because eventually we will be getting into more advanced conversions with more than one step. Most of the ones that we do today just have one step, and setting it up seems to be usually the biggest issue. So we'll jump into some of that here, and hopefully we'll get through it fairly quickly. Alright, just a little introduction with the abbreviations here. This is the customary system. This is what we're most familiar with. And then we have the metric system. I told all the kids that I prefer the metric system because it all goes by tens and it's a lot easier to convert. But I know that I'm also familiar with the customary way that we do things here. Maybe eventually we'll get over to the metric system. I'm not sure. It's been a debate for a long time and nothing's happened yet. But anyway, these are abbreviations: inches, feet, yards, miles, pounds, gallon, quart, pint, ounce. And then we have millimeters, centimeters, meters, kilometers, kilograms, grams, liters, milliliters. And this is in their book. This is the very important part of this chapter because it tells you what specific lengths or capacities or weights, mass relate across the table. So if we look at the metric system, for instance, we can see it goes by tens. 1,000 millimeters is 1 meter, 100 centimeters is 1 meter, that type of thing. A little bit easier to work with these numbers than, say, 12 inches, 1 foot, 3 feet in a yard, 5,280 feet in a mile. But the good thing is that we have this table, it's available to us and we can use it. So I would advise using this. On a test, I would, most of the time they give you the conversion rate, so that shouldn't be an issue, but if we need to look at this during a test or something, I could also provide the conversion as well, so something to keep in mind. Alright, so these are a couple examples that we saw in the book, and the solutions are already up here, but we look at example 1. It says Reggie took 36 big steps to walk the length of the hallway. If each step was about a yard, then the hallway was about how many feet long? Okay, well, we know that there are 3 feet in a yard, and then he took 36 big steps. So we do 36 times 3. Our hallway is about 108 feet long. Not the best way to measure, but approximate. Full 2-liter beverage bottle contains how many milliliters of liquid? Well, we've got 2 liters, and there are 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter. So we double that, and we get our 2,000 milliliters. Just a couple, quick examples. I wanted them to see how to solve the 2 examples in there. But I also came up with my own. And our first question here, how many feet are in 3 miles? Now the way that I'm going to do this is a little different than probably most of the students do it, but I want to show them this because later on when we're doing those more advanced calculations, this system will help them a lot. First thing I always do is I write down the number that is given to me and the units. 3 miles. And I know that I want to end in feet. So I want my answer to be something in feet. Alright? So somehow we got to get from miles to feet. If we go back to the table, we would know that in 1 mile there are 5,280 feet. So, first step, we're going to multiply this by something. And whatever we start with, so we started with miles, we're going to put miles in the bottom here. This is like a little fraction. Okay? And the reason I put miles there is because if you really think about this multiplication, we would end up having miles over miles, and they would cancel each other out. That's the whole reason I'm doing it. And we're trying to relate miles to feet, which we can do. right away. And I see that I want to have feet in my answer, so once we know that feet's on the top here, we're good to go. That's the last unit that we want. So that's the whole goal there. This is a one-step conversion. 3 miles, and in 1 mile, there are 5,280 feet. Now here's where this is nice. Getting it set up's a little messy sometimes, but now that we have our feet, and that's what we wanted, we will multiply this number by any number that's on the top and divide by any number that's on the bottom. So when we're doing multiple step conversions, that'll come in handy, because we'll have a few of these and then everything will be set up and we'll be like, okay, we'll just divide by anything on the bottom, multiply by anything on the top. So we've got 3 times 5,280, and we'll divide by 1. But we don't really need to do that because it'll come out the same. So 3 times 5, 280, 24. 15,000. 15,840 feet. Alright? Let's try to set up the next one the same way. Alright. A newborn weighs 10 pounds, 4 ounces. How many ounces does the baby weigh? Alright, well, 10 pounds, 4 ounces. This is already in ounces, so I'm going to leave that out of the equation for now. But we're going to start with 10 pounds. And we're going to multiply it by one of these. And we started with pounds, so I'm going to go ahead and put pounds down here. And I know that there are 16 pounds, oh wait, no, 12 ounces in a, oh, let's just double check here. Pounds would be here. Yep, 16 ounces in 1 pound. Got a little messed up there. Alright, so 16 ounces in 1 pound. We wanted to end with ounces. And we know that we're okay because we have ounces on the top here. Alright, once again, multiply by anything on the top. 10 times 16 divided by 1. Don't need to really divide by the 1. So 10 times 16, 160 ounces. And we can't forget that there is also a 4 ounces there. Add that on. 164 ounces. So, this should be our answer. Right there. Let's check out our next one. How many kilometers is 5,000 meters? Alright, start with 5,000 meters. And multiply by one of these again. Started with meters, going down here. Trying to get to kilometers, we can. And we will have 1,000 meters and 1 kilometer. I did not have to look that one up. Remember that one. Alright. So we have, remember, dividing by anything on the bottom. So now we've got 5,000 times 1, which is 5,000, divided by 1,000, 5 kilometers. Last one. How many liters is 3,000 milliliters? Alright, well, start with 3,000. And once again, we started with milliliters, so that goes on the bottom. It is possible to relate milliliters to liters right off the bat. Liters is on the top here, that's what we want, so we're good to go. 1,000 milliliters and 1 liter. So 3,000 times 1, 3,000, divided by 1,000, 3 liters. So just a few examples to go over here. Alright, and once again, the setting it up can be a little iffy sometimes. And as you saw me earlier, I had to remember with ounces and pounds, I had to go back and look at the table too. That's completely fine. So don't worry about that if you have to do that. But yeah, these were a few examples here, and I think that's all we have for today. We will continue with lesson 7. All right.